Summon for Vegito. There's literally no reason not to. He's the newest rarity in the game, and if you get him, you will be leagues ahead of everybody else in Dragon Ball Legends. His kit is absurd. I'm still going to go through the typical things I would go through besides the precursors, because the advice is to summon for Vegito. So if you want to know what his kit does, stick around. If you want to know what I think about him in a lot more detail, stick around. But ultimately, the move is to summon for Vegito. Super Vegito Legend rarity is that he's him. You need him. You want him. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you are probably going to summon regardless of what I said. So I'm just putting out this video because you probably want to be somewhere to talk about it. Really and truly. Let's get into this video, man. Alright, we have Super Vegito's abilities here. It's a new rarity, legend rarity. It's basically one above Ultra. They have legendary finishes as well. Just insane kit overall, you guys are going to see. So it's a Super Vegito, so here are the tags: Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Potara, Fusion Warrior, Majin Buu Saga. Z is obviously the Saga. If we go to the Z ability, he's melee based, so you can see strike attack and strike defense, and the percentages are going up accordingly. There's also a Fusion Warrior blast attack in addition. The tags Fusion Warrior, Saiyan, and Majin Buu Saga. He doesn't have a Ultra ability because it's not an Ultra. It's kind of in between but also above at the same time. I know that doesn't make much sense, but just keep that in mind. We've got the strike cards here. Every time you press a strike card, you're going to get damage guard penetration plus 30%. So let's say you press 2 strike cards. On the second strike cards, you'll be doing 60% extra because it will still be within the 5 timer counts most likely. It also has blast armor shown by this over here. If we look at the blast starts, every time you activate one, health restoration minus 30 to the enemy. If we look at the blue card over here, on activation, destroy entire hand, then draw 3 cards. Special move damage plus 30%, which lasts for 3 timer counts. This can be cancelled. And it says here also, if unique gauge is a release type, key plus 30, destroy 3 enemy cards, and cannot be cancelled out by most special moves. So his special move will just override most people's in the game, which is very important to note. And regarding his release gauge, I'm going to tell you in advance, he has an attack gauge that when it fills, it then becomes a release gauge that needs to be emptied gradually. We'll get to that, you'll see it. We've got the green card here. Recover 70% of your vanishing gauge, sorry. So you can see all the things are written here when you press it. Draw up to 2 cards if hand has 3 or fewer. Key plus 40, vanishing gauge plus 70%. This can happen 3 times, and nullify cover changes for 5 timer counts. This is obviously unlimited. The key is obviously unlimited, and you draw cards every single time. I should note that it's the standing still type if I'm not mistaken. And the blue card, I believe it's a long range based on the fact that it doesn't show the blast armor symbol or anything like that. But going forward, also based on art in hand, strike arts, your damage on the next strike arts hit will be plus 70%, which is non-stacking. Blast arts, your damage on the next blast arts will be 70%, and the same thing with special move, but it's going to be 30% to the special move. So just bear that in mind. Next, we got the ultimate damage, or the ultimate art, sorry. Supreme damage, slice, on activation, destroy entire hand, then draw 4 cards. Ultimate damage plus 50%, uncancelable. Nullify endurance for 3 timer counts here. Also, if unique gauge is release type, like I mentioned before, between attack to release is after it fills. Nullify element disadvantages, 3 counts, uncancelable. Cancel enemy buff effects. Now, being type neutral and that being uncancelable is a major pro, I'm telling you. Now with this symbol here, it doesn't show blast armor, but I think this implies that it just goes through, but do not quote me on that because I'm not really too sure with the way it's shown, because you can see here with the strike, it shows the blast armor symbol and it's just regular arrows, but this one is kind of like you're just going through because the yellow is on the arrows instead of the person. So I hope that makes sense. He won't be able to be stopped by anti-blast cards if I'm not mistaken, but we'll have to see when he releases next week Wednesday. We've got the main ability here: destroy 1 card, then draw ultimate arts next. Health plus 30%, key plus 50, unique gauge charge rate plus 100%, so you'll be able to fill your unique gauge pretty much instantly. 60%, and then uncancelable. It'll be easier to fill for sure. And then enemy key minus 100. That's a big decrease for the enemy. Just like that, they can't do anything because they have no key. That's tough unless they have the immunity to key reduction, so you just bear that in mind. The starter ability, we've got damage 320. This is actually less than Buhan by 10%, but it's very likely he will have higher stats, but I can't confirm that because we obviously don't have the stats. The damage guard is higher than Buhan though, with 260%, key recovery 70%, draw speed. He nullifies explosive greens twice, so the same mechanic that Fusing GB has. I believe Super Saiyan Goku Mini has it, and I think the other unit that has it is maybe Omega Shenron, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, he can do it twice, and all those units can do it only once. Sub counts on switch minus -2 all the time as well, which means that if you switch him out, it's usually 10, it's going to be 8 for him. He has endurance, he gets 50% HP back off the endurance being popped, and special Dokubaki impact versus Boo super, which we saw in the trailer. It's just more theatrics, I guess, but you know, you do have that if you ever get in a Dokubaki impact with Ultra Buhan, which is nice. All uncancelable, by the way. Now we've got the unique ability here. Now something very interesting here is this says on battlefield entry or area change, which means once you enter the battlefield, right, that's one condition, or another way to activate the condition is to bring them from up to down or down to up. You know how we got the 7th anniversary changes. So draw 2 cards if hand has 3 or fewer, health 10%, key plus 40, cover notification happens, nullified damage received, element disadvantage for 5 timer count, so you go type neutral against the damage that you take, destroy 1 enemy card, enemy key -35, or draw speed is also -1. Now this in itself is obviously very insane, it's very good, but what makes it even crazier is the bit below it where it says on card draw you get HP, key and damage 15% for 10 timer counts which cannot be cancelled. Now considering that if you just enter the battlefield you'll draw 2 cards, you'll probably do a combo and be drawing more cards, so you'll be getting your damage up, and then if you switch them from up to down at the end of the combo you'll get even more damage. So the damage stacking here is outrageous. It's not every card you press, but it's every card you draw. Again, also based on arts cards drawn, strike cards, damage on next strike arts hits 70% non-stacking, again with the blast 70% non-stacking, and the special move is 30% non-stacking. On Dokubaki impact win you get an extra 20%, which is actually just more damage for you to take. And then here release type on vanishing step, so the condition is your gauge being release type, you will destroy 1 card then draw a special arts, which is a green card 1 time, but this can happen again if you lose an ally, and you can lose 2 allies. So the first time you lose an ally it can happen again, and if you lose the second ally it can happen again. Here when on battlefield an enemy activates special move ultimate awakened arts or rising rush, you get 10% damage guard, which is can happen 2 times, which is uncancelable as well, and you also cancel buff effects, which is perfect because he has endurance and buff cancellation is just a match made in heaven. Special cover changes, you got the strike cover change and it can combo into the blue, no ultimate, bear that in mind. Now we get into the unique gauge. Like I mentioned earlier, it starts as an attack type and then it turns into a release type. So while it's attack type, right, you literally just need to press cards to fill it. So when unique gauge becomes full, switch to release type and then you'll draw special move arts. Next, right, you get key 50 and cancel attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. Also, if there is a defeated battle member 1 time, so it's not for each one that's defeated, you destroy 1 card then draw ultimate arts next, and you'll protect hand for 5 timer counts. So that ultimate that you get extra, he's able to get 2 ultimates in his kit. This second one, right, if there's 1 defeated battle member, he will not allow it to be destroyed for 5 timer counts. Now while release type, damage plus 50%, so you get an extra bit of damage there. You get draw speed, overdrive, gauge charge plus 50% uncancelable, and nullify attribute downgrades, which is also uncancelable. Now something I want to speak about here, if you were watching the World Championship, you saw that a lot of the players there, they would often charge up even if they already had 100 key. It's because they're trying to get the overdrive gauge charge. But if you can fill it 50% faster, when you have the overdrive gauge charge charged completely, you will be able to have infinite key basically, which will give you a huge advantage on the battlefield when pressing cards, considering this guy can actually increase his draw speed. Now going here, release type, when unique gauge reaches 0, it goes back to the attack type, and attack type charges moderately for each strike and blast starts used, only strikes and blasts, and then release type decreases gradually when on the battlefield. Now just to put the icing on the cake, if you thought all of that was already insane, it gets crazier. Legend action, perform an area change attack from high area, then combo into a special move or ultimate arts, activation area, high area, and you can see the combo into. Now if you don't know what that means, it means if you are in the air and you know how you can quick attack, hit the tap attack and then slam them to the ground, if you do that with Vegito, that technically counts as a combo starter. So normally you do damage for punching them, and then when they hit the ground they will also take damage. But Vegito, if he has a blue card in his kit or an ultimate, he can then chain that immediately into the blue card or ultimate, which is outrageous. He doesn't need to start a combo or to aggress you immediately to get that off. So letting him quick attack you is easily the worst thing in the world, because if he has a blue card you're getting nuked, if he has an ultimate you're getting nuked. And that's everything regarding Vegito's kit. It's honestly one of the most outrageous things we've ever seen in the game. Having survivability, the buff cancels, being easily the most oppressive unit damage wise. You know how Gohan does damage with his blue card? Vegito seems like that all game. Simply, he's him, and like I said at the start, you should summon. Should you summon on Legend Rarity Super Vegito? I already said yes, but let's really break it down. This guy here is purple, which means he's going to counter Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Gogeta, also Orange Piccolo, 3 major green wins in ranked PvP. The purple element was in dire need of a new unit, and with Ultra Buhan also running around, even though he's red, this guy is a very good counter for him. Very good counter. He's easily looking like the highest damaging unit in the game, and his mechanics are just absurd. He's able to do a lot of damage based on the build up throughout his whole kit. His green card, the build up, the blue card being able to be chained, he can get 2 ultimates. Overall, he's insane. He has a bit of disrupt. It's not kind of automatic, mainly the main ability where he reduces the enemy's ki, but that is still nuts. He's super oppressive. Basically, he's out here to be the attacker on the battlefield, a true melee type. But even outside of that, man, just the animations were probably enough for you to want to summon, but it just gets validated by his kit literally being one of the most absurd things we've seen in Dragon Ball Legends history. They're literally trying to increase the bar, and I think this is a good way to do it considering it's a new element. But at the same time, when they're doing things like this, depending on how often they release a legend rarity unit, this could get ridiculous very quickly. Now I'm just talking about it generally, but talking about it is like, wow, this guy is nuts. Almost everything about him is great. The AoE block, so it counters the meta as well. The likes of Kid Buu, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Gohan having endurance survivability is great. Being able to stack so much damage is also great. I think if they just gave him a bit more disrupt, he would be absolutely nasty, but I still think he's good as is, as he's going to be able to tank very well, but also dish out easily some of the biggest hits in Dragon Ball Legends, especially for this next meta upcoming. And I should also mention, they didn't really mention it like in detail, but because he is a legend rarity purple, he's going to do more extra damage to anybody who's type disadvantaged to him. So what that means is, typically red would be type advantage to yellow, but because it's type advantage, it's calculated as 1.5 times extra damage towards the yellow. Now with this legend rarity Vegito being purple, he's obviously type advantage against green, but it's not going to be that 1.5 times that I just spoke about. It's going to be 1.75, so it's a bit more type advantage damage than any other unit can do type advantage to any other unit. He's simply the superior type advantage, is the best way to say it. So I could say it's like type advantage 2.0, you know, the 1.75, but that's how it was described, which makes him absolutely nuts. Easily worth you summoning. Now I'm making this segment in this video to just let you guys know that I'm obviously going to be summoning, but it's not really to tell you that I'm going to be summoning. You could have guessed that already if you know I'm a Vegito fan. You know, man, I'm Vegito captain basically. The point is that the rates on this banner are supposedly going to be much lower. There's also the blue bros, but nobody cares about them, let's be honest, man. And if you do, you would summon on the banner anyways, you know. Typically ultra banners have low rates. They're 0.35 or whatever. Legends limiteds, I think they are about the same, or maybe 0.5 if I'm not mistaken. This banner, the rates are typically 0.25. Do you know how low that is? And on the 2 times rate, it's 0.5. Now this means the question isn't do you want them or can you get them? It's are you going to get them? Probably not. Probably not. It would seem like everybody has this unit, but I really feel like there's going to be very few people with this unit, and that's going to make it insanely hard when it comes to the amount of CC that you have. They're gonna have to up the CC if they're gonna keep this character in the game, or even just put him in the game, and I don't imagine they would do that. So it's gonna really incentivize a lot of people to need CC, and the idea of it being more pay to win is obviously entering the conversation. But overall, I just want you guys to know, good luck on your summons going for legend rarity super Vegito, and that I will be summoning, and I will be summoning until I get him. Hopefully there's a pity system on the banner, but it doesn't seem like there will be. There's also the new legends limited, like I said, Goku, Vegeta, tag unit, blue bros from Resurrection of F. Outside of that, it's just good luck to everybody, and just hope that you can pull this unit, because the rates are looking extremely low, worse than ultras, and ultras are already impossible to pull in Dragon Ball Legends. That's going to be the end of the video, unfortunately, but I will post a lot more content regarding this legend rarity super Vegito, because there's a lot to cover. It's new, it's big, and everybody's looking forward to it. He drops next week Wednesday, so if you're thinking, oh, you're gonna get him tomorrow or today, you've got time, don't worry. It's not like it's gonna make a difference, you simply just have to wait. But let's see how he plays in Dragon Ball Legends. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.